Hello and Namaste. Today I am going to talk to you about a very interesting and unique technique followed in EFT. In fact, this technique has given us the glimpse of the expansive and non-local nature of ourselves. In years to come, and research starts building up, this particular technique is going to be a very significant and important technique which, if understood properly, is going to give us a very important tool through which we can not only influence our own selves, but we can influence the entire universe. The technique which I am going to talk about is called the Surrogate EFT. Yes, it is known as the Surrogate EFT. In Surrogate EFT, we tap on our own cells but create an influence in someone else. Now, people who are learning and understanding the mechanics of EFT get bewildered by this particular phenomenon. Unless they experience, it is very difficult for them to believe that by merely tapping on a few acupoints of your body, a very deep and significant interference and influence starts taking place somewhere else. Now, before we enter into understanding how to use Surrogate EFT, we need to understand the mechanics on what it works. Friends, as you may be aware that all these energy psychology tools work on the principle of resonance. Resonance is when two frequencies tend to sync with each other. When two frequencies match each other, when a particular frequency activates a similar frequency. Now, this process is known as resonance. And interestingly, resonance is the matrix on which the entire universal information and energy is being exchanged. Now, it may be of interest to you to find out how this principle of resonance works in Surrogate EFT. Now, before we understand this, we should first understand how the universe functions and what is the nature of reality. Now, friends, to understand the nature of reality, we should first understand what this so-called reality that we call is made up of. The so-called day-to-day reality, what are the galaxies, what are the planets, what are the trees, the animals, the birds, our own bodies, the animate and the inanimate made up of. In fact, after the emergence of quantum physics, the entire equation of scientists and lay people of looking at the universe changed, because they realized that though things in our reality look absolutely solid, when we go within them, they are made up of energy sources known as atoms. And when scientists went deeper into the atom, what did they find? They found out that deep into the atom is energy and information in the form of vibration. So, friends, we need to understand one thing, that the universe in which we live, which looks hardcore solid to our senses, but actually is energy and information in its original and core state. So, first thing, the entire universe is in a form of energy and information vibrating at different frequencies. So we are actually vibratory beings living in a vibrating sea of energy. The second very important thing which was realized as the research of quantum physics went on developing was, though we look absolutely separate from everyone else, and though everything in the universe that we live looks absolutely separate, we are connected at a very, very subatomic and subtle level. So in fact, we are all, and everything else in this universe is actually influencing and interfering with each other all the time. So if we understand this, we will realize that we are, as it is, constantly in the process of creating an interference in the entire matrix of the universe. Now the question arises as to how do we intentionally influence the matrix of this universe. Now, I think this is very important for us to understand that we influence the matrix of the universe only when we focus on anything. Please understand this very deeply. Whenever we attend to anything, we give anything the energy of attention, we start influencing and interfering with the matrix of this universe. Now, if we understand this, we would understand the mechanics behind surrogate EFT. When we want to help someone else, the help will start taking place at a very deeper level when we focus on the other person. In fact, when we are talking about surrogate EFT, it is not limited to only helping other person. It could be anything. It could be a plant, it could be an animal, it could be anything. It could be an animate or an inanimate object. Because what we call inanimate is actually a bunch of molecules and atoms whirling at dizzying speed inside it. So any kind of inanimate object, though it looks absolutely inert to our senses, if we transcend our senses and go deep into it with an electron microscope, what we would find is nothing else but energy and information in the form of vibrations. So friends, this is the mechanics on which surrogate EFT works. So if you want to influence, in fact, influence could be a wrong word that I am using. When I am using the word influence, I am not meaning to manipulate. I mean to set something in balance in the other which is not, which probably is blocked. It is to release the block in the other by you working on your own self. Because when you work on your own self with an intention, with attention and focus in your mind about the other person, about the other thing, at a deeper level you create a connectivity, and then the principle of resonance starts taking place. So I think this is the first lesson that we need to understand before entering the process of surrogate EFT. Because if we are clear about what we are doing than doing it blindly, so I would like you to just contemplate on what I have discussed today with you. Go deep within, understand this process, and in my next video I would come back with the method of actually using the protocol. Till then, keep watching my videos.